So, welcome to this video. I thought I'd do a video on the best places to ski per month in the European Alps. In this video, I'm going to go over what resorts to go to or what areas to go to per month, so through November to May, and over the Christmas period I'll split it up with the kind of first half of December and then Christmas and New Year's, because it's a whole different ball game going then. But yeah, firstly, if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe and then let me know what you think as well about it. If I got anything wrong, you think I missed anything, or you just agree with me. Hopefully that's the case. Right, so if you want to ski in November, the options are very limited, especially if you're coming from the UK, let's say. So most resorts won't open to December. So the only resorts that will be open will be the glacial skiing resorts and a few other resorts. So for example, you've got Zermatt, which is actually open all year round with glacial skiing. Again, in the summer, it's not very good, but by the time November comes, they're getting an early snowfall. It should actually be quite doable. Expensive though in Switzerland. Then in France, you have Tignes and Val Thorens opening about the 22nd of November. Again, this depends on the year. It's normally around a Saturday around that date, but this can vary. If they have a bad snowfall, they'll push it back a couple of weeks. And then there's also a few resorts in Austria that will be open with glacial skiing. For example, Stabai, which opens, I believe, in October or maybe November for its park. Again, this is more park skiing on the Glacier, so if you're into your freestyle stuff, that's definitely where to go. And also the Hintertux, I probably butchered that, Glacier, which opens in around October, November time as well. I'll list all the opening times like right here so you can see them, just in case I've got anything wrong, but I think should be right. But in general, it's probably not a great time to go skiing in the Alps unless you live really close to some of these early opening resorts, or you really are into park skiing, so you don't care too much about the snow. You just want to make sure, as long as there's jumps there, you don't care. So December. December is a very good time to go skiing if you want a good deal or you're on a budget, because a lot of things are doing early season discounts, especially before the Christmas period, and are normally quite quiet on the slopes before the run up to Christmas. This does depend on the weather. If you have a very warm November, it can lead to a delayed start, so you're always taking a risk when booking it. But if you book high alpine resorts and glacial skiing resorts, you should be all right. All the resorts I mentioned in November, they'll be very good in December, and then some other ones that open up in December. You've got Saas-Fee, which is a glacial area in Switzerland, which it opens mid-December. You've got Zermatt and Cervinia. The Cervinia is the Italian side, it's near the Matterhorn. I've just made a video on that, so go watch that if you're interested. That's really good. Their base is at 2,000, goes up to 3,800 in Switzerland. You've also got the rest of the Free Valleys. So Val Thorens is within the Free Valleys, and most of the Free Valleys opened up 6th of December in 2025. And then you've also got Les Deux Alpes, which hosts Rise Festival in early December. For December, I'd actually recommend a short trip, maybe like a weekend, because if you book a week and you have terrible snow, it's obviously not great and you're taking a lot of holiday if you work. But if you only book a weekend and the conditions aren't that great, you're not really losing out too much. So going skiing over Christmas and New Year, the snow is normally quite good over this period of time. Again, most of the resorts open their slopes especially for Christmas because they know they're going to make a lot of money, see a lot of crowds around Christmas. They're probably busiest period over the whole year, ignoring like February half term. Everything's always open, everything's always lively, and the snow's normally good everywhere. Again, all resorts in the Alps will be pretty much open unless they've had a bad snowfall. So I'd recommend going to any resort really based on snow. It's again more your budget. But I would recommend, if you're going over Christmas, to pick one that has more of a Christmassy vibe. So a lot of the Austrian resorts like St. Anton and Zelmsee, or any of the Swiss resorts, will have a nice Christmas feel to it. And then over New Year's, you might want more of a party resort. So look at the French Alps, still St. Anton and Zelmsee and places like that, or Iscal, if I've said that right. Again, if you want more of a party New Year's in the mountain. One big drawback about this time is it's going to be expensive, because most of the people who rent accommodation either be staying there themselves because that's when everyone's off, or they'll be charging like double or triple for the same accommodation in, let's say, Jan or early December, because they know everyone will want to stay there because it's the holiday period. So overall, it's an amazing time of year to go, but the drawbacks is it's expensive and it's very, very busy. So skiing in January is probably my favorite time to go every year. I always aim to book a week out in January because one, it's outside of busy periods, it's not in February half term and it's not in Christmas period, so things are cheaper than expected. The lift passes are still full price because it's the middle of the season. The snow quality is good. Most resorts would have had snow from late November all the way through to December and into January, so the snow base is good. So even if you get a really hot week, there's still going to be plenty of snow on the mountain. What kind of resorts would I go to? I'd recommend pretty much any of the resorts. You can even risk it with more local resorts that might be lower altitude, but again, if it's warm, these become worse. Yeah, there's none in particular. Like one of my favorite ones I've been to was Les Alps, end of January. It was like snowing 90 centimeters in 3 days, and it was absolutely amazing. So much powder, plenty of off-piste and stuff. You go to like the Dolomites and stuff. I wouldn't recommend going to the Dolomites in January 2026 because they're getting ready for the Olympics. Again, I assume there'll be a lot of slopes closed. Again, I don't know this because I haven't looked into it too much, but just something to bear in mind. Moving on to February. February is a really busy month and it's one of the peak periods outside of Christmas. You have all the school holidays in Europe, like UK Feb half term over this time, making like transfers and flights very busy and very expensive. So generally, if you don't have a family, you should never plan to go at this time. Some resorts, if you are going to go in February, I'd probably recommend more Switzerland and Austria than the French Alps, because a lot of British people go to the French Alps because it's just the best option for them sometimes. Also, France have school holidays in 3 stages. Again, I'm not quite sure what they are, but it basically means the whole of February. However, there are amazing conditions the whole time, so if you're going to big resorts or even smaller resorts, the conditions can be very good. You're just going to be competing with a lot of other people for space on the mountains. March can be a very good time to go skiing. It means there's a lot less families after the school holidays, and there are also longer days, so more sunshine hours, more time on the slopes technically. Often the lifts don't open that late, but that doesn't matter if you stay up there long enough. Also, you can spring skiing, so you've got to be careful with some of the altitudes as well, because you're going later into March. Often the resorts might start to lose their snow towards the end of March, so I'd always recommend, if you're going that second half, booking more snowshore or high alpine resorts. A lot of resorts in Austria like Ischgl, St Anton will hold their snow, and the Dolomites also hold it really well, and it should be perfect timing just after the Olympics to go, so I'd recommend that as well. There's also a lot of deals in March, so just bear that in mind. You can often find cheaper accommodation because it's starting to be like towards the end of the ski season. Skiing in April. Skiing in April can be quite challenging because it is the Easter break for a lot of countries like the UK, so they can actually often have the worst conditions in terms of snow quality and the prices of like mid-February. I would recommend staying away from popular family resorts. Again, same logic applies from February, so maybe Austria or the Dolomites. However, a lot of resorts will start to close to the mid of April, so do bear that in mind and kind of plan to go to a resort that maybe finishes at the end of April or into May. One positive about skiing in April though is it's hot. If you like your après ski, it's always really good in April. You know, you've got the sun's out, a bit slushy snow, but again, really enjoyable and can be really, really fun. So finally, skiing in May. May isn't a great time to go for a ski trip. It's only good if it's kind of similar to like November, if you're near those kind of higher altitude resorts and glacier resorts. So for example, Les Alps closes, I think, the 1st or 2nd week of May, and then later it will open for its glacial skiing. And also Zermatt and the Hinterix Glacier as well in Austria, Zermatt being in Switzerland, will be open as well. So again, if you're more like kind of hardcore skier, you're more into your park stuff, it's still okay to go in May. But again, if you didn't live near it, I would strongly probably recommend going at this time. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it gives some people a better guide. If you feel like I've missed stuff out, please let me know. And also, what do you think is actually the best month to go skiing? Again, if you like this content, I'd appreciate if you subscribe, because we're quite a small channel and I'm trying to grow, and there should be plenty of other videos coming out over the 25-26 ski season.